Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod, and I am your host, Lester Class. Each and every episode is going to be filled with amazing stories from amazing people. You will hear the different journeys people went through, or are still going through, to be able to do what they love. From the failures to the successes and everything in between. This is a place to get to know the person behind their passion, because people only get to see the successes and not what it took to get there. If this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe and leave a review if you love the content. Now finally, I would love to welcome you to the Community Pod. What's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod. I just want to say welcome back to another episode. I got another amazing guest in the building. I got a model. He's also been able to do other things as well. I got Justin Stewart in the building. How you doing?
Yo, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, bro. I think this is one of the most anticipated episodes because we've been talking about it for a while. You hopped on my live. We talked about it. So people saw that we're trying to get something going. So I'm glad we're able to finally shoot this episode. Before we begin, would you be able to tell the people what it is that you do?
I'm a model. I've been modeling for about 3 years now. Do a lot of social media influencing. Stuff like that. So.
Okay, cool. So where did you find this passion, like growing up, to be able to do the things that you're doing now?
I think growing up, it was just crazy, man, because I never thought I would ever be in this position. When I was growing up, I was just a young kid. Like, we from the same hood, you know what I'm saying? And I was just trying to figure it out. Like, I didn't really have a clear direction of necessarily what I wanted to do. Didn't really have anything that I was really good at. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of just, I was kind of stuck in limbo. You know what I'm saying? I was lost. So growing up, it was kind of just going through the motions and just trying to figure out life for myself. You know, it wasn't, I really didn't have a set plan or like a real passion for something or a real love for something. That kind of just happened a lot later in life.
And do you feel like growing up, like life was not as easy as people may have pictured it to be?
I mean, I think everybody has their own struggle. You know what I'm saying? And I think my struggle was my struggle. You know what I mean? Like, I had some rough moments, but I just got to thank my parents, man. They did an incredible job. Like, I'm one of 3, so one of 4. So growing up, I was always treated like everybody else. Like, my parents didn't really treat me differently, or because I had a condition or because I was going through X, Y, and Z. Like, they always treated me
exactly
the same. And I think that really, like, prepared me for the real world. Because once you get out there, man, nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about your struggles. Nobody cares about what you've been through. It's either, you know what I'm saying, you just got to do what you got to do, you know? Yeah. So it definitely helped me a lot. So I definitely owe a lot of credit to, you know, my parents, my grandparents, uncles, aunts. Like, they really did a great job with not just me, but my siblings too.
Got you. And so if you don't mind me asking about it, I just wanted to talk about how, like, I feel like you've been able to motivate people with the same condition as you, that to see the beauty in it instead of seeing, like, because I know that before we spoke about it, that you used to get bullied for your condition,
right, and
you used it to embrace beauty. So what was that like, dealing with your condition? I want to say, is it the Cleft?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I said that right, because I know that correct me if I'm wrong, but there's different types of clefts.
Right.
Clefts. So what was it like dealing with that at a young age, and what experiences did you have to go through?
Oh man, it was tough. Like, I can remember being in pre-K and kindergarten and having those thoughts of just like, you're not like everybody else. Like, and I'm 4 or 5 years old, like, having those type of thoughts in my brain. Like, what type of 4-year-old or 5-year-old is thinking that way? But I was just on that type of time as a 4-year-old, as a 5-year-old, just like the things that I was experiencing wasn't what the average kid was experiencing. Like, I can remember, like, taking the train, because remember, we lived in Jersey, so I remember taking the train, go to NYU, go to the doctor on the weekends, getting up early, checkups, surgeries, like all that kind of stuff. Like, it was definitely a challenge, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Because I always dealt with it, and it didn't feel weird. You know what I'm saying? It's not like something happened to me later in my life and I had to adjust, and
Yeah.
I always had it and I always dealt with it. So it was like, it didn't really, not that it didn't affect me, but when you deal with something for so long, it's a part of who you are. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was tough. Like, dealing with kids, dealing with, people having things to say. It was tough on me. It was tough on my brothers. It was tough on my family members. And I'm glad we kind of are getting out of that world. But it was definitely a challenge because I never, not, I didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
That's just as real as I could put it. Like, I was a kid.
Exactly.
And people, I don't really know where that comes from. And I think for me, because I went through it, I feel like I have a little bit more compassion for people. And it's just a certain way you do things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see somebody that looks different, like, I don't have to go out of my way to point it out and make a big deal or make a joke. And I don't know if that's just because I know what I went through, so I have, like I said, compassion for other people. But people are just interesting, man. And you never know what somebody else is going through. Like, somebody could be saying something about me, making fun of me, and they're fighting their own demons, and that's why they took the time out to, you know what I'm saying, say something about me when they really didn't have to. And then when you think about, social media, like, there's always going to be haters, bro. Like, there's always going to be doubters. There's always going to be people that, you know what I'm saying, don't really like you. You kind of just got to go through it. Like, you don't have to have Cleft to have experienced what I experienced. Like, it could be people with big heads and big noses, or, you know what I'm saying, they got unibrow. Like, it could be any type of characteristic on your body. Fat girls, the big girls, like, that was always a thing when we were in school. So it's like, you don't have to have Cleft to go through, you know what I'm saying, what I went through. People are just crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of I went through it, and I still have my moments. And I still have interactions with people still as an adult, which I think is crazy, but you go through it and you go through it, man. That's pretty much it.
And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but over time, like, you learn to instead of like this part of you, you started to embrace this part of you.
Right.
Because one, I feel like you've motivated and people in a lot of ways to appreciate, I feel like, the places that they once believed were flaws, but were actually perfections. And, because I believe in God, and I believe God works in amazing ways, and he does what he does for a reason. And the reason we look the way we do, the reason we go through the things we go through, is because he knew we were ready for it. You know what I mean? So I have to say, you're doing, I would like to say, I've wanted to tell you this for a long time, but I think you're doing God's work. I think that,
appreciate that.
Of course, I think you're doing amazing things, and I think that you are putting on for a lot of people who, like, may have felt some type of way of something about their body or something that they did, and now are embracing that. You know what I mean? So you're doing an amazing job, and I think that there's so much more that you're gonna do. We spoke a little off camera, but there's just a lot that you're gonna do, and I'm just so happy for you, honestly.
Yo, I appreciate you, man. Like I said, it's been a journey. Like, it hasn't been easy, but, like, I got a great supporting cast of people behind me that really rock with me, really care, and have, like, best interests, you know? So I'm definitely not here alone or by myself. Like, I definitely got a village behind me. So
Gotcha.
I could only give credit to the people that came before me. Like, I'm not the first model with a condition. Like, there's plenty of models that came before me, plenty of speakers that came before me. So, like you said, I'm doing God's work. It doesn't really feel like work. It just feels like I'm walking in my purpose, and it feels good.
Good. And that I think that's the best part, when you feel like it's not work and you're doing it because this is what you were supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you've been doing a lot of things even before the modeling that were helping people. So I actually wanted to get into the motivational speaking that you did at one point. So what made you become a motivational speaker?
Yo, this story is crazy, right? I had a teacher, and I was living in Alabama at the time.
Okay.
So I was going to high school down there, and one of my teachers asked me, could I do a presentation? I was a senior, and he asked me, could I do a presentation to the freshmen and just talk to them about like financial aid, scholarships, like what to expect your senior year, like stuff like that. And that was like the first speech I ever did. And I was like, why are you asking me? Like, I don't really, but this was like one of my favorite teachers. It was kind of like doing him a favor, kind of,
okay.
you know? So yeah, that was like the first speech I ever did. Like, I went to the freshmen, some of the sophomore classes in our school, and I did my presentation just about, like I said, your senior year stuff, financial aid, scholarships, college, all that kind of stuff. And everybody was just like, oh my God, like he's such a good speaker. He's really well spoken. Like, this is pretty cool. And I remember I was speaking to a different group of kids. And you know how at the end when you speak, like people have questions.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember one time I spoke in front of this big group, bro. It was a huge group. And one of the kids asked me, like, what about your personal life? Like, what do you do? And nobody ever asked me that.
Yeah.
After I would do these speeches, like, it was always about, like, college and all that other kind of stuff. But this kid actually asked me, like, who are you, though, for real? Like, what do you like to do? Like, do you play a sport? Like, what's what's going on in your life? Like, you telling us about college, but we don't really know you for real. And I'm like, yo, that's really a valid point. Like, how do we expect these kids to, like, actually listen and, you know what I'm saying, and rock with us if they don't really know anything about us? It's kind of like a trust thing. Like,
exactly.
Like, I work in education, and it kind of reminded me of that. Like, you got to build
that connection,
trust,
exactly.
and connection, right? So he asked me, like, well, who are you? Like, what do you do? And we just got into a conversation, and it ended up being like a 30-minute long conversation, like, about my life. Like, he would not stop asking questions about, like, who I was. And there was a couple administrators there. Faculty was there, and that was kind of like the spark to, like, me sharing my story and kind of talking about my life a little bit. And I feel like a lot of people were interested too, because like I said, I was living in Alabama, right? I'm from Jersey. I'm a city kid, bro. Like, I'm in the country. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm the new kid. I talk different. I dress different. I look like nobody I've ever seen before. So I feel like there was like a lot of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, people were intrigued. Like, people wanted to know who I was even more because of all those factors.
Yeah.
So I think that played a major role in like why I started speaking in the first place.
Yeah.
And then from there, like, I just was going to different schools, like talking to different groups of kids, different organizations, and kind of just sharing my story. And then, you know, from motivational speaking, we took it to social media, and then
it was up from there.
Yeah, it was up from there, man. It was a crazy time.
So Alabama was after Hillside?
After Hillside, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Hillside your whole life?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Elizabeth.
From Elizabeth.
Grew up in Hillside.
Okay. All right.
And then my sophomore year was when I moved to Alabama, 2016.
Okay. So you've been, you know, in a lot of different environments.
Right.
So I have to ask, before we get into what Alabama was like, what was it like growing up in Hillside, New Jersey?
Bro, I loved Hillside, man. Like, I'm from Elizabeth. I spent a lot of time in Elizabeth, but I spent most of my years in Hillside. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really a big town. Everybody knows everybody pretty much. I think it got kind of crazy. Like, I lived on the border of Newark and Hillside. Like, the block over is Newark.
Okay.
So it definitely got crazy over there. And I think the older I got, like, the worse it got. Like, and you know, like, once the Newark heads started coming to WOK, started coming to Hillside, Irvington heads, like, it got crazy. Like, it really got crazy. And I think, like, we just seen some things, bro. We experienced some things just growing up, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be the hood. It's just environments that Black and brown people grow up in. You just see stuff that nobody else sees, nobody else witnesses, bro. Like, and I definitely got some stories, as far as just some of the things that I experienced.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy time, bro. Like, and I enjoyed it. Like, who doesn't love, like, of course, I feel like there's like that adult in you that kind of wants to break away from where you're from and break away from the hood and the hood mentality and all that kind of stuff. But you love where you're from. Like, it's nothing like where you're from or where you grew up. So I had a great time in Hillside. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, I love Hillside.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I moved to Jersey and I still had my car. I would just drive and just ride through Hillside just because, you know what I'm saying? Don't got no business there. I don't live in Hillside no more.
It's just reminiscing.
Yeah, just reminiscing, bro. Go to Sandy's, you know what I'm saying? Like, do my thing. So
it's crazy because, like, it's just things that we have done, like, I want to say for Hillside. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that we went back to just speak, because you spoke at WK, right? Yeah. So it's just the fact that we went back, and I currently may be going back to go speak, but to a fewer kids. It might be my last time speaking. Yeah. But it's just the fact that we loved it so much, and it's not because I've had bad experiences like with myself in the area, but I've also had great memories and great people that I've met, and I wouldn't take anything that I've done there back at all. Like, I'm very happy to have grown up in Hillside because, like you said, it's not considered the hood, but it's like what you said, black and brown people growing up that you just don't see every day. Right. And I feel like the environment WK was insane. Like,
it was a movie, bro. It was a movie. It was
every
nothing
day.
like it.
Like you miss one day of school, it was like, yo, what happened? Like, yo, this happened. Da da da. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just so much to happen. But now to talk about Alabama, right? So how was that like moving from? I don't know where in Alabama you were staying at, but what was it like moving to a state like New Jersey to Alabama?
It was the biggest culture shock of my life.
Really?
Like, I went from being in the city, like we in the hood, bro. We in the city, like this is our city. Like I went from being in Hillside to like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from New York City, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like Hillside
was right there
on Munn Avenue. That's the last stop on the bus before you go to New York. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So New York is right there. Grew up in the city I remember getting off the plane and I'm just like, bro, it's mad trees. Like it's just grass, trees, like open land. Never really experienced that fully before. And I stayed with my uncle Steven. He took me in for those last 2 years of high school.
Okay.
And it was just a crazy experience. Like the Southern hospitality is something like you just gotta experience it. Like,
yeah.
Where we from, you don't go up to people and talk about what's up, how you doing, what's your day like. Somebody say that to you on the street, you're gonna be looking at them funny. But down there, like a regular conversation with a stranger is normal behavior. Like that's the norm. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, how's your day? Like, where you from? And you do that up here, we gonna be thinking you trying to backdoor. You know what I'm saying? So that was something I definitely had to get used to. But I was in the country, man. It was quite the experience. I went to a high school. It felt like it was in the middle of nowhere, man. I remember like we had to take the bus to school, and it's just grass, cotton fields, and all that kind of stuff. And I was the kid from Jersey. Like everybody called me Jersey. Like that was my name.
Really?
So I was like, they would talk to me like I was from like outer space. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the Jersey Shore really real? Like, what's New York like? You know what I'm saying? Like asking me questions, and I'm like, I ain't from New York. Like I'm from Jersey. I'm from Hillside. Like so it was definitely fun, man. And I met a lot of great people. Had a lot of great experiences. Like, of course, high school is high school, and adolescence, you go through what you go through. But for the most part, man, it was like, it opened my eyes to like a lot of things. Like, life is so much bigger than where we're from. You know what I'm saying? And I was living a completely different, not even a different lifestyle, but I was just living different. I'm in a different part of the country. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely opened my eyes to just like, yo, like, it's more to life than just Hillside, New Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey. Like, it's so much out here for you to grab.
Exactly.
And it just going through different areas, and going to school and interacting with people, I feel like it definitely helped me a lot with my communication skills. Like, I lived in Hillside, but I was in the choice program, so I went to Burley.
Okay.
I went to Kenworth, so I was around predominantly white people for a few years. Then I'm in Alabama, I'm with the Southern people, and I'm around Southern white people, Southern black people, and you know, so it definitely it made me like a chameleon in a sense. Like, I feel like all those experiences made me like a true chameleon. Like, I really feel like I could maneuver and figure my way out in any space, any background, like people with different backgrounds. I really feel like not a chameleon in a sense of blending in, but I really know how to maneuver and operate, and you know what I'm saying, like find my way. I could be in any environment, you know what I'm saying, and I could really finesse it the way I need, you know what I'm saying, do what I got to do, and I credit that to being in those different spaces and just learning from those experiences.
Nah, and I gotta relate to you because actually, not that I moved to Alabama or anything. I moved to Pennsylvania.
Right.
I was in shout out to Burnville, PA. I was there for a few months, and I was going to school there, and I was like one of like maybe 5 Spanish people in the school, like, and it was predominantly white, and like we were on the bus and we were dropping off kids in the middle of woods, like it was insane, like. And I think that's such a big thing where like you have to understand that this, like you said, the world is huge. Like there's so many places even outside of the United States that you need to go see, because like I what do I say? I preach that because everybody thinks that like your city is the world. You know what I mean? And they never leave. It's just like, this is where I'm at. Like this is everything. But once you leave and you see how other people are living, it's just like, damn, like. And I feel like you said, you get so many life skills from moving from a place like New Jersey where everybody's like, don't talk, like, I'm not, bro, I don't even know my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not talking to our neighbors. Like, whoever you are, and we're going about our day. And in a place like PA or any southern, like, not southern, would that be considered southern?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm not bugging. So PA or Alabama, when you go to places like this, North Carolina, I'm not gonna keep going because I'm gonna fuck up. So I'm on a roll right now. But point is like the people are so much nicer, and like you can talk to people and not like feel like they're gonna backdoor you or they have ill intent. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you should be able to experience like in this world. I think that's such a big thing. So what was it like? So you mentioned that you moved to Alabama for 2 years, right? Well, not 2 years. 2 years?
Yeah, so I did my last 2 years of high school, then I did 2 years in college. So I was down there for about like 4.5
Okay.
years.
So you said that you moved in with your uncle, right?
Yeah.
So did you get in trouble? Like with your mom, like,
yeah,
you gotta go?
I definitely got in trouble.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm ever sharing this story.
Okay.
Like,
Are you cool with sharing it?
yeah. I'm not gonna say too much, but you know, coming where we come from, just doing my own thing and not doing the things I needed to do, bro. My parents sent me down there. And I was living with my Uncle Steven and my Auntie Byrne. And they really did like a great job with just getting me back on track and like making me realize like what life is really about. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you said, like we grow up in this box and it's just like this is all we know. We really don't know anything else. Like I was able to experience so much, bro. Like places I'd never been. Like we're from the inner city. I don't know if have you ever been on a hike? Have you ever hiked mountains?
You know, yeah.
Like that? But
I've done that before.
Coming where we come from, ain't no mountains and none of that stuff. And like that was like one of the main things that me and my Uncle Steven used to do. And when we first did it, I was like, nah, I'm really not jacking this. Like this is weird. Like, and now that's honestly one of my favorite things. Like to do is like go to the mountains, go hike, and be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like
enjoy the nature and everything.
Right. And that was something that I would have never known that I enjoyed if I didn't have the experience. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it opened the doors. Just like you don't, when you have access to certain things, like it just expands your mind, bro. It's like, how would you know you don't like cheesecake until you try it, bro?
Exactly.
You would never know. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you bring up hiking. When I moved to PA, and I've never like said this to anybody before. I think I only said it to fam. But like I moved to PA, and my uncle, I was with my grandparents, but I moved in. No, my uncle, he played golf, so I was like, I'm not about to go play golf. Bro.
Yeah.
Like I've never played golf, and like that's some like, you know, like I've opened my mind, but before when I was younger, like I have nothing like it, I don't say this anymore, but like I used to be like that's some white people shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that shit. And like I went and did it, bro, and I was like, yo, I'm really good at this. Like, I was like, I'm about to be a pro golfer. Like I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then I was like, I came back. Like I moved right back to New Jersey after 3 months, and then I never played it again. And I was like, damn, like I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed playing it. But where I moved here to Carteret, no, we ain't got no golf course around here. Like there's no like people that if I would be like, yo, you guys want to go play golf? It's just like, what? You what? Like go get a basketball. We're gonna play basketball.
Facts.
And that's it.
Facts.
But like it's just like like you said, it opens your mind to so many things when you move out of the place that you thought was like the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to continue on, right? So you are, well, because of the motivational speaking, and then you got into modeling, and we spoke a little bit off camera, but you were able to. We had a phone call. I don't want to disclose everything we had a phone call on, but I remember it was probably one of my. It's a big memory for me, that phone call, because
3 years ago,
dude, like 3 years ago, like we both did motivational speaking, and we both, like, to be honest, like I didn't really know where I was going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know if this was gonna be my career. I didn't know if like this is what I was gonna do forever. It was just something I enjoyed doing because I liked helping people. And the fact that we were able to connect on that level, to be like, all I want to do is help people too. Before all this came up, you know what I mean? Where like you blew up as a model as well as a motivational speaker, because I believe you blew up as a motivational speaker first, and then you got into the modeling, and then you did a whole bunch of other things, right? So like I remember that phone call, and it's a big memory for me. I just got, like, I have to say, like, you've been able to do so much, and I want to hear that. I want to hear it come from you, because I feel like sometimes when you're working so hard, it's so hard to like reflect and be like, damn, I did do a lot.
I feel like I still struggle with that now, especially when you're in the process. Like, I feel like now more so than ever, I'm learning to celebrate like the wins. Like I feel like before, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's just I want more. Like we on to the next thing, we on to the next project. Now I feel like I really take the time out to be like, nah, like let's go out, like let's celebrate, or let's just take, you know what I'm saying, 24 hours, like 48 hours, like let's live on it this high from the win we just got, and then 48 hours we get back to work. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But just taking the time out to really like enjoy it is something now that I'm just now doing. I really don't brag too much about the things that I've accomplished.
This your time though. This your time.
But it's been cool, man. It's been great. Like being a model has opened a lot of doors for me, man.
Yeah.
Like social media is ridiculous. Like social media is a different beast, bro. Like I remember during COVID, like Gary Vee was talking about TikTok. Like, yo, y'all better get on TikTok. Like TikTok is the wave, and like TikTok's gonna be the next big thing. And everybody was like, oh, it's corny. It's just for people that dance. Like it's not that. And now look at TikTok, bro. Like you can do anything and everything on TikTok. So back to that, I feel like, I don't know, man. Social media was just, it was a crazy time. We were in COVID, so it was like everybody was on their phones. So it definitely made it a lot easier for me to get like the recognition and attention, because we were literally locked in the crib. Like,
yeah,
you had nothing but time to be on your phone. Like I feel like that's when everybody was doing a podcast. Everybody was doing, you know, Instagram lives. Everybody was doing
something.
Yeah,
you know?
doing something. And I hopped on the wave. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just do the Instagram live joint. Like, and that's what I did. But yeah, I don't really brag too much about some of the things I accomplished. I'm just thankful for all the opportunities, man. And
I think before you go, right, I gotta say that I think we should start change, because I don't see it as bragging, right? It's just appreciating the work ethic that you had to get to what you wanted to be. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something I'm learning too. Where like it's hard to be like, I've done this and I've done that, because to everybody else it's like, all right, he's going on about how good. But I think everybody at some point needs to like hear it come out their own mouth too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because we work so hard behind the scenes, and like people don't see everything that it took for you to get on these magazines, for you to get these modeling gigs, for you to even be in these places with these certain individuals. You know what I mean? It didn't just happen overnight. Like there were probably nights that you didn't know where you were going. You didn't know if it was gonna work out. You probably questioned yourself. You probably there was probably a point where like you was like, damn, am I gonna do this like my whole life? Like how is this gonna work? Like where am I gonna go? So like I think that for people like us who work so hard and like take the time out of our day to like actually be behind the door, being behind the scenes and working our ass off to get to where we want to do, we should allow ourselves to just enjoy, like saying like I did it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But so when it comes to like your modeling and you getting into the this space, how were you introduced to it?
I was doing my thing on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I had agencies reach out to me like, hey, you ever think about being a model and doing this and doing that? And I was just like, honestly, nah. Like, I'm cool with the social media thing. Still didn't really have as much confidence, but social media was rising, so it was cool receiving opportunities and stuff. But as far as modeling, I was just like, not really feeling it. And I remember I went and got scouted by one specific agency, and I went and took some shots. This maybe was like 2019 into
Okay.
2020.
It's like during COVID.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember being there, and it was just like, it was such a new space.
Mm-hmm.
I went alone. Like, I remember, like, everybody had something to do the day I had to go, right? So I was asking my brothers to come with me. They had stuff to do. My mom had something to do. So I had to go by myself, which I really didn't want, right? I ended up going to this spot. And I remember being in front of the camera, mad lights, mad cameras, mad just directions from people. And I'm just like, bro, this is too much. Like, my anxiety was on 10. I'm still kind of like this shy, quiet kid, really don't talk too much. So I really wasn't feeling it at all, bro. Like, I was just like, I remember calling my mom, bro, like, and telling her this is not it. Like, I'm never doing this again. Like, it's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there, I ended up meeting, like, my mentor. She's actually, like, the person who discovered me because of that shoot.
Okay.
So she always takes props for discovering me. But her name's Christiana. She was on America's Next Top Model.
Okay.
I think she was a runner-up. She came in 3rd place.
Okay.
So she's,
yeah.
big time. So I remember seeing her there. I remember I'm walking in, and I just see, like, this tall, blonde lady, long red dress, bro, and her energy, like, it was something, like, I've experienced it before with other people, but for that to be my first time experiencing it, it was incredible. Like, how she just controlled the energy of the room. Like, I've never seen anything like it, bro. Like, the energy in the room, just like, and that's something that we talk about as models, like, taking up space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she definitely did that, right? So I remember meeting her. I did my shots, really wasn't feeling it. Some of them came out okay or whatever. And she definitely helped me because she saw I was, like, really anxious. And I remember, like, we were dancing, talking, like, she worked with me really well that day. And I remember, like, when I was leaving, she told me, she was like, yeah, you're going to be, like, a really big model, and you're going to do so many big things. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, like, whatever, bye. And we stayed in touch. I went back to college. Okay. She kept in touch with me my whole, like, that last year of college that I was in when I was in Alabama.
Wow.
So this was the year before COVID in the summertime. So I came home for the summer and went back down to go to college. Okay. Right? So that whole last year I was in college, she kept in touch with me the whole year, bro. Like, that goes back to our conversation that we were having off camera, just about, like, people are just people, bro. Like, I'm over here surprised. I'm like, oh my God, it's Christiana. It's America's Next Top Model. She's a person, you know what I'm saying? And she really kept in touch with me, and I was honored, and I was surprised, but I was definitely appreciative of that. And then when I came back up, I got another opportunity from another agency, and then, bro, the rest was history, bro. Like, I did my first shoot. And to this day, it's low-key one of my favorite shoots, even though, like, you get better over time. But that first shoot for me was, like, still one of my favorite shoots I ever did.
Okay.
And I think it set the tone for my career, too, because it was just like, all right, you could do this. Like, when I saw those shots, I was like, oh, snap. Like, you look good, bro. Like, this is not a game. Like, you could really make it happen. But, yeah, that's how it started. Like, it was just through social media, through Christiana, and then being an influencer. It was like I was an influencer because of my condition, right? Mm-hmm. So the influencers in my network, most of them were people that had conditions and were influencers too. And the people don't really realize, like, the social media influencing world and modeling is connected in a way. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of models that are influencers, or, like, influencers that want to be models. Like, it's very intertwined. Yeah. So I actually became friends with a lot of models before I was ever a model. Like, I was just doing my thing on social media, but I already developed, like, a network of influencers and models, and, bro, things just took off, man. And it was great. I feel like I got a lot of attention early because of just me signing alone was kind of what sparked that big social media run that we talked about. Like, it wasn't even me booking a job. It was just this guy who has a condition, who looks the way he looks, is a signed model. Like, and that just went crazy. You know?
So if you don't mind me asking, what brands or what companies have you been able to model for?
So I've done, like, a lot of editorial work. Okay. like Good Morning America, Washington Post, and the brand work. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The brand work has been slow. Like I'm breaking into an industry where like nobody looks like me, you know. So I'm a pioneer in a way. Like I have a friend, a really close friend of mine. She has a skin condition.
She went to WOK too, right?
No, she didn't go to
No.
WOK. She didn't go to WOK. She's
Okay.
from North Carolina.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we talk all the time, and it's like there's never been anybody like us in these spaces ever. Like you think about conditions that are really popular, like vitiligo is really a big thing.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of vitiligo models, but what Cleft model do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like what model with her condition do you know? Like it's very, very, very small. Like we're pretty much the first of our kinds. So breaking that barrier into the industry has been pretty difficult. But like we talk, like nobody's gonna quit, nobody's gonna give up. Like I'm gonna just continue to try to kick that door down. Because like we talked about, like we're really changing the standards of what beauty looks like, or whatever looks good looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like who are you, or who am I to say what beauty is supposed to be? You know? So from that side of things, it's been a little bit of a challenge. But we're working through it. But I've been able to do like a bunch of editorial stuff, a bunch of social media opportunities, a couple modeling opportunities through social media too as well. So we're working on it, man. We're working on it.
All right, cool. And I have to ask, like, when it comes to doing modeling, you did the motivational speaking. Is there any space that you haven't been able to tap into yet that you really want to?
Acting.
Acting?
Like
Okay.
I feel like that's something that I'm gonna break into. Maybe not this year. I'm still getting all my ducks in a row, but like when the time is right, I feel like that's a space that I want to get into. I watch a lot of movies. Like I'm a movie guy. I'm a real movie head. Like I probably go to the movies like almost once every 2 weeks. Like I try to get to the movies. So I would say that world is something that I'm definitely interested in. And like I said before, like there hasn't been anybody that looks like me, you know? So it's like that's another barrier that we got to break through and figure out. So we'll see what happens.
And I love that you're using your condition as like I also like feel like it's also how do I say, like you said, it makes you stand out from other people, and I think that it also gives you a better chance in some ways to do it, if that makes sense.
I think I turned like my greatest like shortcoming to like my greatest asset, bro. Like I use it to my full advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody looks like me. When people run into me, it's like they'll remember me forever because they'll never see anybody that looks like me again. So it's definitely had like its benefits in the modeling world. And I feel like early on, I feel like I kind of relied on it too much.
Okay.
And I got to a point where it was like, do you like? And people would tell me this too, like you're relying on your look way too much. Like this is still like a job. This is a craft. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've definitely spent the last like few years really trying to work on my craft and really become the best model I can be, rather than just relying on the look. You know, and I think that's something that's been a process as well.
Yeah.
Just like anything you do podcast is a process. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things you have to learn. There's things that you need to learn that you still haven't learned. And it's the same thing for me, you know? So just going through that process and trusting it and never being too cool or too like just up there to learn something from people has definitely been like a benefit as well. Like it's a humility thing. Like I'm never too cool to learn something from anybody. Like I ask questions, I have conversations, like, and I just take all the knowledge and all the experiences that I gain from other people and I use it. You know?
Not yet. And like what I really want to ask you is, what advice would you give to an individual who may not know where they're going in life, but they just need advice to just keep going, if that makes sense?
I would just say, just think about some of the things that you're passionate about and that you believe in. Like, and work hard. I know there's this quote by Nipsey Hussle, like he talked about he went through every single emotion you could think of while he was chasing his dream, trying to get the marathon, and you know what I'm saying, like do everything he said. Like he was like, I went through every emotion, like any emotion you could think of, bro, I went through to get to this point. I just never quit. I just stayed down. So it's like I would just say, like, you're gonna go through every emotion. Like there's gonna be days where you want to quit. Like I have my days where I'm just like, bro, pack it in. Like, is this really for you? You know what I'm saying? Like I have those thoughts all the time, bro. But it's like you can't let those like negative thoughts like dictate your reality. So I would just say you're gonna go through every emotion, but you gotta push through it, and you'll make it happen.
Exactly. So, like, just to get into you and what you're doing now, right? Because, like, what a lot of people don't know is what you got going on right now. But I have to go ahead and say that your Chrome magazine, we spoke about it off camera, right? And you mentioned that there's like that it never happened before, but there's tons of people wanting that magazine. Yeah. How does that feel that like your face is on the magazine and people are like, I want that?
It feels pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like my career is based off of my appearance and my performance, and then you take this little shy kid who used to walk with his head down, and now people are like, yo, I want that. I'm not gonna lie, that's a crazy feeling, bro. It's a crazy feeling, and I'm thankful for just like I never, like I'm just never too good to just be just grateful and thankful for every interaction that I have, bro. Like I really take a lot of joy in it, and I really try to sit in it and reflect in it. So it's great, man. I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like I work really hard on my craft, bro. Like, and I love what I do. So for, like we talked about, like for people to like it too, like I'm a creative, I'm an artist. Like this is art, you know what I'm saying? And this is my craft. So for people to like my craft and respect my work and respect my art, it's like there's no better feeling than that, because it's what we created ourselves.
Exactly.
It's not like it's really art, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy it a lot, man, and it kind of, those little wins give me a reminder that like you're on the right track. Like don't quit. Like just keep going. Like those little wins here and there is just like, even though you really want to quit, bro, like you can't. Like these are signs that like you could really make it happen in the way that you want it to. Like it may not be happening at that speed that you may want it. You may not be progressing the way that you have thought, or you looking on the gram and you seeing other people with the cars and the jewelry and all that stuff. But like those little wins is like proof for me. Like, nah, you're on the right track, bro. You just gotta, keep going.
Exactly. So, we are getting to the end. There's questions I'm gonna ask that I usually ask all my guests at the end. So one of these is a new question. I thought about it because of everything that you just told me. What is something that life has taught you that you walk with every day?
I would say one thing that I recently have learned, and I'm still working with every day, is just like the attitude of gratitude, bro. And that is something that is a major part of my life right now. Like I got a gratitude journal, and I remember when I first got it, bro, it took me like 3 months to even open it. Like I got it and I never used it. And I'm just like, all right, like I'm gonna just get over myself and just start. And you literally just write down things that you're thankful for every day. And it sounds so corny, bro. Like it sounds like so corny. I remember people would tell me about it all the time. Like that's lame, like that's corny. But I went from using it like once a week to like I have to write in it every single day. Like what are the things that you're thankful for? Like it doesn't have to be something that has to do with our craft. It could literally be, yo, I woke up this morning, I made my freaking bed, like I ate, I went to work, I was able to make money today because I got a job,
Yep.
And those were some of the things that I would write down every day, and sometimes it would get repetitive. I went to work today, but like it literally changed my mindset, bro. Like to really have gratitude and to be thankful for just everything. Like you may not like certain situations, but it's like that attitude of gratitude can go a long way, and it can really change your mindset. Like I feel like I'm like a negative thinker in a way sometimes.
Okay.
Especially like I said, like my career has a lot to do with my appearance and my performance. So it's like I feel like my mindset can really go to some dark places, and I could really get down on myself and really be negative. But that attitude of gratitude really like keeps me in check. Like, okay, like let's say I had an audition and I didn't make it, right? I didn't make the cut, but in order to get that audition, they had to like me in the first place anyway. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I didn't get the audition, but I'm grateful that they were able to see me, and like my face is still getting out there, even though I didn't get the results that I wanted, you know? So it's like keeping that attitude and really being grateful, bro. Like it's been something that I'm learning, and it was something that I've just like started to learn, but it's a major part of my life right now.
Okay. So actually, on that note, I have to say something. So you and I had a phone call last night, and I was actually like in my head. Like when you called me, that whole day I was in my head. Like I have this thing where like when I'm in my head, I know I'm in my head, and like I get so like the negative thoughts just flow through my mind. Like you're not going as fast as you want. You're not at the place that you said you were gonna be, or you're not booked for 3 months from now. What are you doing? Like it's just like these things are like that. Oh, your post didn't do well today.
Yeah.
And it's like I get so all like negative on myself. I put all this weight on my shoulders, and I gotta say that phone call when you said the things that you said, which was, dude, it felt like you blew up overnight. You were able to gain this amount of things. These you have so many people booking. Sometimes people like ourselves who like want so much and want to do so much, sometimes when we hear it come out of someone's mouth, the things that we have done is kind of like refreshing. And it made like I gotta say I am so thankful you called me, because I was in I had a horrible I was in a horrible spot where I was just like, and it happens like when I'm not doing anything,
Right.
when I'm sitting
That's
here
stagnant.
when I'm sitting there, and it's just like I have to be on goal 24/7. If I'm not, then I'm not doing anything.
You feel like you're not. I agree.
So I have to say, one, thank you for that phone call, and it truly opened my eyes, and I think I need to start a gratitude journal too, because like I think that it would allow me to appreciate everything, and even the little things, instead of thinking that I have to start not considering these things as little things, because it's still something. You know what I mean?
And these are major things too, bro. Like the first 3 weeks, it was I woke up today, I went to work, I made my bed. Like if you look at my journal, the first week, 3 weeks, it was just that. It was nothing else. But those are major things, bro. Like those are 3 things that not everybody can say they can do. You know, so just keep that attitude, man. Like it goes a long way, and it'll even change your interactions with people. Like I'm not gonna disclose everything that we talked about. We talked about the whole Michael B. Jordan thing.
Yeah.
And even just having that attitude, like I said to you, bro, like I feel like we live for those moments in a way, because so many people doubted us. So many people like just said we couldn't do anything. So when we run into these people now, or
later on,
it's kind of like you kind of want to rub it in a little bit, right? But like I told you, bro, like of course you're gonna have those moments, but at the same time, it's like we can't show these people like
the same thing back.
The same thing back. So it's like there's definitely been times where I wanted to rub it in a little bit, but me just being nice and me being polite went way much farther, or it did way more damage. You know what I'm saying? Like than I might have thought. You know what I'm saying? So kind of just having that positive mindset, and like I said, that gratitude, it goes a long way, bro. It'll change every aspect of your life, bro.
Okay. So I have 3 more questions. What is it that wakes you up every morning, maybe even keeps you up at night to do what you do?
I feel like it's like a fear of like failure in a way.
Okay.
Like I feel like it took so long, and it may not have been that long, but for me it was long, because I grew up in a house where it was kind of like everybody had a set plan. Like my dad was a coach, my brother was like one of the biggest football players in the state. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we all had these plans, and I was like the black sheep in a way. Like I really ain't know what I wanted. So it took for me, it felt like it was a long time for me to figure out what I wanted to do. So I feel like just that fear of like failure or going back to that space mentally, it low-key haunts me in a way. Like, and I feel like the taste of just like success is contagious, bro. It's like winning a championship or just like really getting a win. You just want more. Like you win a championship in any sport, you will chase that for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? And that high that you get from those wins, like the wins that we have, bro, like I'm constantly chasing that feeling. And I feel like we talked about, I feel like I had like this I'm happy to be here mindset. Like I had that for a very long time. Like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. Like that was my answer to everything. And now I'm kind of in a place where it's like, no, I really want to own this shit. I really want to be successful at what it is that I do. I don't like, I got tired of just being that I'm just happy to be here, you know? So I feel like those are like, that is a culmination of things that kind of just keep me up at night. Because I do have a lot of restless nights. As you know, when you a dream chaser, bro, it's like, it'd be nice where that's all you can think about. Or you'll have those nights at 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and you just start writing. You know what I'm saying? Only a few people really know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like I said, I feel like those are some of the things that really keep me up. I think I have a lot of support too. Like the people that really put on for me, bro. Like I really just want to see them like happy and successful. Like I'm already trying to figure out like, yo, when I get to this point of like where I want to be at, how can, like, you look at LeBron, bro. LeBron is like the only successful person that's been able to do this, bro. Like there's a million NBA players, NFL players that have tried to do what LeBron has done, and it has not been done. Whereas I'm trying to put everybody on. I'm trying to put my boys on. I'm putting my family on. Rich Paul, Maverick, like all these guys, like, and that's something that I think about too. Like, yo, how can I take whatever it is that I'm doing and put everybody that I love and everybody that I care about on? Because that's important too. Like, and that's one thing that I'm learning as well. Kind of just being like the solo act in my career, like not forgetting about the people that really care and really, you know what I'm saying, made sacrifices or really just looked out for a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like that keeps me up too, just wanting the best for them as well, or like thinking about ways of how I can use my success to, you know, make it their benefit as well. Okay. So I'm gonna. Yesterday I stunned one of the, like, I love this question because it always catches people, right? So if I don't catch you, I'm gonna be very surprised. What is a message that you would give to your future self? My future self. Now you caught me because I'm thinking your younger self. My future self. I just say, yo, I always knew you could do it, bro. Like I had faith in you and nobody else did. Everybody doubted you, but I didn't leave you. You know what I'm saying? I stayed down. So that would be my message to my future self. Like, there was a lot of people that doubted you, but I didn't. So respect me and thank me. You
know. Also, I want to mention you mentioned your brothers, right? I'm gonna need the Stewart brothers on here, bro.
Yeah,
because the crazy thing is that a little sidebar, but all your brothers is doing something. Yeah. Like, you know, one of the best football players, in America. Like he is amazing. Yeah. Jordan, right?
Yeah.
The Jordan is the other one.
Jordan's the other one.
Yeah, and Jordan. He's doing a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Dude, the Stewart brothers got something in them, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were
something in those genes, man. You gotta thank mom and dad for that.
Yeah, it was nah, I ain't gonna tell
what
the story that you said off camera.
What?
It was those little smacks that got everybody. You know.
Oh man, yeah. Parents. Is
that's
crazy,
for another
man.
time. That's for another time. But what's it called? The last but not least, the last question is: what do you want the world to know about Justin Stewart?
What do I want the world to know about me? Honestly, I really don't know. Like, I try not to get caught up in other people's perceptions of me. Like, I'm more concerned about how I view myself, more so than how other people view me. So I would just say, like, I don't know, man. I would just say, you just got to see for yourself, like, who I am. I feel like the work that I've done, the people that I've been able to help and touch, like I feel like my body of work kind of speaks for itself in a way. And like I said, like I really try not to get caught up in the world's perception of me, like how I see myself, how I think about myself, and how I view myself. I feel like it's way more important.
All right. So that is the end of the podcast. Last but not least, the camera's now all yours. If there's anything you can go, damn. I was about, I don't even know, I was about to stumble with my words. Okay. If there's anything you got going on, anything at all, any advice you want to give, and if there's anything that you want to say at all, damn, I messed this up this time. I'm not even going to edit this out.
Oh, man.
This is your time. The camera's all yours.
Which camera?
This one right here.
I would just say, like I said before, like Nip said, I went through every emotion. Like, you're going to go through every emotion trying to chase your dreams and get what you want. And you just got to, what separates you from everybody else is not quitting. So just stay down, don't quit, and I'll see you at the top.
Okay. All right. So, Justin, I got to say I appreciate you for being here. I know that, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, this was definitely an episode that I feel like one I've been waiting a long time to do. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see this episode.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Especially, I feel like 2 kids from Hillside. Like, it's just it's gonna be a good
Not
episode.
bad, man. Not bad.
Yeah. We didn't do so bad.
No, we didn't do so bad.
We're doing all right. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro. I just want to say, everyone, thank you, and everybody go follow Justin Stewart. I'm gonna put all his information in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. It allows other people to find my YouTube. Also, leave a comment. Let me know your favorite part. Leave a like. Put on post notifications so you never miss a future episode. If you're watching on audio platform, please leave a review. It allows other people to find my podcast on all platforms audio-wise, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything of that sort. Other than that, if you are new here, welcome to the Community Pod. We are building a community of like-minded individuals who do different things in the creative aspect, but are all related in one way, which is their story. Other than that, last but not least, for the people that do watch all my episodes and stay around and have seen me do, and I don't edit nothing out, so like when I mess up, and you're gonna see me mess up. But I'm doing everything I can, and I just want to say I appreciate you. Without you, I couldn't have what is called the Community Pod. And that's it, Justin. We're out. Peace.
All right, we're out.